Julie's story is such a beautiful reminder of what is possible and how you can create, whenever the time is right, your pathway into entrepreneurship, how to balance holding on to a full-time job and still pursuing your passion. Okay, let's start with Meraki. I love the name, but tell us the meaning behind that name.
Yeah, the name was a journey in itself to find like what really spoke to me. And I was just going to town looking at so many different ways that I could kind of tie in something that was meaningful to me into a word, and it sounded right. So I'll tell you a funny story. There is something called a unilome, and it is something in Buddhism that really talks about a journey of transformation. And I got it tattooed on my arm probably 3 or 4 years ago. And so my first instinct was to call it unilome, and then I thought, that doesn't sound, it just doesn't
have a ring to it.
It doesn't, like for a business. So I was like, okay, that just, I don't know. Like I went with that for about a month, and then I was like, it's not feeling right. So I came across Meraki, and the meaning is putting a piece of your soul and passion into something. And I was like, boom. I love the way it sounds. I love what it means. It feels authentic to the type of jewelry that I am, designing, which is really modern boho, boho chic. It really fit and checked all the buckets. So I have a little focus group of friends, and I said, okay, here's 3, help me pick. And they all picked that one. So, yeah.
I love that. You pulled your inner circle.
Yeah.
And,
great.
got to lead
my little
power.
Advisor board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened in your life 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That was just kind of the precipice of you saying, because you thought about it, you thought about creating your own boutique store at one point in time, yet you stayed very devoted to this corporate fashion retail company or companies, probably worked for different ones, and then something changed.
Yeah. So I think that what really changed the most for me was time. And, I have 3 kids. One's in high school still, so I'm a little bit of an older mom with a high schooler. So I've been raising kids now. I have 2 that are in their 20s and graduated college already. So I've been raising kids for a long time. I've been working full-time for a long time. At one point, as I mentioned, I was traveling, working for 18 years, which is a whole nother thing, and raising kids and doing. So my time was really limited in a lot of ways. And but I got to a place where something personally happened where I decided that, me and alcohol were not friends anymore. And, it never got to a place where it interrupted my work, or I think there's all different kinds of reasons that people stop drinking. And for me, it just didn't feel like it was helping me get the things done in my life that I wanted to. And, alcoholism runs in families, so I've seen it in my family. It wasn't a situation where I drank every day. I was never that person either. But I think that there's something literally metabolically inside of me and other people that you start with 1 or 2 and you start feeling good and you keep chasing that. And before you know it, it's like 4 or 5. And that is definitely going to impact your life in a negative way when you're doing that more often and more often. So I decided that I was going to stop. I had thought about stopping probably a decade, but never seen, like my lifestyle didn't line up with it. And what I realized is I had to change my lifestyle and the things that I was doing and the things that I was interested in, like, and do something different. And that's when, made the decision to stop drinking because I didn't like how it was showing up in my life. And then changed my lifestyle to align to that. And therefore, all of a sudden I had all this time where I was like, okay, I'm not like going to the winery this weekend, or I'm not, like going out with the girls Friday night or whatever it was, right? So how am I going to fill that time? And I literally remember waking up about 6 months into it, and it was a Saturday, and I was like, what am I going to do today? Because I'm single. So I don't have like a partner. And I was like, I need to find something. And there was a woman in Davis who had a bead store. She taught jewelry classes. And I thought, I'm really interested in this. This is what I'm going to do. And literally that's how it started. I took her class and literally kept showing up until I felt like I knew what I was doing.
How did you discover her? How did you discover this bead store?
What?
Like there's like
I feel,
you're just scrolling and you're like, oh, I mean,
I feel like those things are not coincidence.
Yeah.
That was part of my journey to discover this. So it wasn't
to where you are today.
Yeah. I wasn't initially. It's interesting because it's been an evolution. So I never went into this thinking, okay, I'm going to start a jewelry business. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I just kind of evolved. And with my background in retail, I knew what I needed to do if I wanted to start selling. So that was a leg up. But it really just unfolded, as I think it does for a lot of people.
I remember, Julie, you sharing that you and your daughter would make the jewelry together.
Yeah,
did I remember that correctly?
She left me.
She left you.
She is doing so many creative things. I just can't keep up. But we did. I brought her in when, I was early in the business. I, needed some help with some of the things I didn't know. Like she designed my logo, for instance, She makes jewelry too because she loves to do it. So we did it together for about 6 months. She moved home from college, and then she's an interior designer. So then she found a job, like her full-time profession in interior design, and left me. But she still helps me. So like when I need certain things, but she's not active in the business as she was. That was really
I just
fun.
thought that was really a cool story. I remember when you and I reconnected a couple of years ago and sharing that story. And I'm like, how cool is that?
It was really neat. And she has a lot of creative interests as well. So she's always making something. And I'm like, you should sell that. You should sell that. And she might, who knows, down the road.
She's a worker like you.
She is.
Yeah.
She has got such a good work ethic throughout school, throughout, college. She definitely is driven with a sense of purpose that we don't even know yet where it's all going to go. But again, like we talked about, always on to the next.
Well, from that paper route day, to, where you are today. I mean, sometimes you just put one foot in front of the other and see where the paths take you.
I think that's true. I feel like that's kind of been my life. It hasn't been super planned out. When I look back, I never said, this is where I want to be next. I've always let the journey just kind of take me. And I really do believe that you get what you put into it. So when it comes to work, I've always put like 110% in, no matter what I'm doing, because I knew that it would eventually take me to the next thing. And I think that's important.
Something just came to my mind. When I first met you, Julie, I actually thought in my head, what an interesting, smart, intelligent, beautiful, stylish woman. Wow. You're not from here, right? You're not from Woodland. How did you get here? I remember thinking that in my head, I love Woodland. I'm from Woodland.
Yeah,
but
I know. I was thinking that today when I was coming here. We're all got roots here, you know?
Yes.
I wasn't born here.
Your style is just of a different...
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
It is,
again, literally from the time I can remember, I've loved fashion. And I loved hair. There was time too where I was like, maybe I'll be a hairdresser. Like I just loved all of it. Like just putting a whole look together. And I do my friends' hair. I do their makeup. I would style them. Like this was going on back, when we were teenagers. So it's just been a passion for me. But I moved here, I went to middle school here, and I went to high school here, and
in Woodland.
Yeah.
So when you guys came to the United States, you landed in Woodland.
We landed in Davis for a year, and then bought a home in Woodland. Okay. And so I feel like I kind of am I've got a big group of friends. Like my childhood friends are the friends I made here. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
That makes sense because I think you get some really core friendships developed in middle school and high school and college. And
I really value the relationships that I have from here. Like I've made other friends along the way, but we still there's 10 of us, and we're all on a group chat. And we chat regularly. And it's harder to get together because everyone's spread out. But we still cross paths, make it a point to get together, whatever. And again, these are girls from, 7th, 8th grade on.
That's so cool.
So it is really important and a big part of my journey, those friendships.
When did you decide that jewelry was more than a hobby and you wanted to share it with the world?
I was making it, and it wasn't easy to learn. I will say that. Like
I was going to ask you, how do you make jewelry? That was just my initial question.
Look at all of her beautiful pieces she has on.
I'm just staring at your rings and your bracelets there.
Well, I don't make rings yet, so I can't take credit for the rings, but they are fabulous. I love these rings. Yeah. But I think that when I decided that I was going to turn it into a business is when someone said to me, why don't you sell it? Because I literally was I had all this time now, and I love doing it. So, and it's something you can do even in the evening when you're watching your TV show and you're just making jewelry. So it's almost like, when your grandmother was knitting, or your mom, it's just something you can do like that. So there is a lot of time. I couldn't stop, and I'm not literally. Because I enjoyed it so much. So I had so much of it, and then when someone told me that I valued their opinion, that they would buy it, and they thought I should sell it, I thought, all right, let me give it a whirl, and it went well the first time, So I thought, okay, there's something here. And, again, it's not a sprint. It feels like a marathon. I've been doing it a little over 2 years, which is nothing really when you think about it. And there's still things that I'm working on that, we're all trying to figure it out, right? And it's a very competitive landscape, jewelry especially too. So it's more like I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm committed, but I'm letting it unfold as I go, and making sure that I have the bandwidth in my life to do what I want to do.
It must be hard too. I mean, you are a single mom, and so when you work for corporate or private enterprise, there's benefits, there's health insurance, there's things that become very expensive when when and if you were to decide I'm just gonna go for it big kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I still have one at home, so I think about that. I'm like, well, maybe when he's on his way, I could downsize tremendously, simplify, and put more time. Like, I think about my jewelry, and my vision would be as, an extra strategy at some point down the line, maybe, retirement or, and just continuing it, but building it now so that when I get to that point, that I have something to go to. I don't see myself as someone who will not work in some capacity throughout my life. I can't imagine.